fresh air to contract kennel cough. Once again, you can control your situation as much as you want. But if other people don't respect themselves as much as you respect yourself, and if they don't love themselves and love their people, their animals, their things, shit like this happens. My poor little boy. And he's getting so warm already. He's like, I don't want to be outside. And I'm like, it's the best thing for you until stuff shows up. My poor little boy. Yeah, you just lay there, bud. You if it loosens up, get it out. We're waiting for the honey and the rest of that. When I take a shower in a little while to clean up, you're definitely going in there, and I will crank the heat so it can keep your chest going. Not deadly or anything, but I want to cover all bases, you know? Especially for him. Especially for him. He has been by my side since I got here. Regardless of taking Stella on as my own and everything else. Like, because technically no one but Bob is mine here. But taking them both on, these are my surrogate kids. These are the ones that I care about. Everybody else can screw up their lives all they want. I'm not letting anything happen to these 3, 4 with the baby. Because, you know, the baby's Dylan's. They didn't ask for this. See, people never, they don't get it. Dustin, why do you care about them so much? They're just animals. You can end an animal and it's a misdemeanor. Because I understand something that a lot of people don't. You all come into this world being able to make every choice in the world for yourself. Animals, much like disabled people, they don't get a choice. They have to be reactionary to everything because they're trusting people that are supposed to know better and have their best interest at heart, right? So I sympathize for that. It's not his fault. It's not Stella's fault. It's not little mama's fault. It's not Bob's fault. Get it out, bud. Get it out. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. Get it out. I know. I'm sorry. As soon as the honey gets here, I'm going to give you a fat spoonful. We'll coat that throat. Start that stuff back up. It's why I always come to their rescue. It's always why I come to their defense. They didn't choose any of this. They're inheriting this from the decisions that we make. And if you're going to love your animal, if you say that they're family, you might as well treat them like your damn kid. If you wouldn't put your kid in that position, don't put them in that position. Happy girl? Is that you over there? Hi, happy girl. That's just a little side note because it's literally happening in front of everyone's face right now. It's not actually the reason why I wanted to go live right now. Nah, we're gonna crap all over spirituality right now. Why? Well, because I watched an interview with Neil deGrasse Tyson yesterday on Club Shay Shay, and while I think he is a pompous, arrogant prick with a lot of things, his his stance on people coming from Africa. Can we get rid of that? Like it was proven either at the beginning of this year or end of last year. Like human beings did not originate in Africa. They originated in what we now call the Middle East, which is, if I remember correctly, not in Africa, right? I mean, all you Christians out there, all you Catholics, Muslims, everything, Jesus and Allah and all this, human beings originated in the Middle East. And they spread from there. North, south, east, and west. Can we... That's the one thing that I have a hang up on with, and I've said this, like, I love science, but I hate the scientific community. Because just like a politician, they are all incumbent. They are all bending the knee to the people that give them their grants and their money, and you know, take the knee, bitch, basically, right? That's my one issue. So he will say 100 smart things, and then he'll say one thing that's just like, come on, dude. You know you're saying that because you're beholden to somebody else. But one of the things that he did talk about yesterday is something that I've talked about on here for quite a while. And that is that New Age spirituality was literally only created in 1976. You can look it up. It's literally a book named New Age Spirituality. And then since then, no one can come up with anything original. And what this guy did was he took ancient teachings, the Tao, I Ching, everything from every religion, everything from every, urban legend, everything, threw it in a pot, hit frappe, left the top off, let it splatter against the walls, and that looked good to me. And this is the shit that we buy. And I've told you, and I hope that with somebody with credibility with saying it will make it set in. Like, your astrological sign, your I'm a Capricorn, I'm an Aries, I'm blah 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 blah. Like, this shit, especially now because everybody's turning into like new age hippies and shit. None of that shit is true. You guys realize that, right? Like, if you were born, let's say early January like I was, you know that by all technical accounts, you are not technically a Capricorn, right? Because of Earth's axis shifting. We've talked about that a lot, haven't we? Because of star placements constantly moving in the sky. You know, right? You know that, like, if you're born in early January, you're technically not a Capricorn. Technically, by all accounts, if you date it all the way back to when it was invented, quote unquote, that you're really an Aries, right? If you want to go off that and believe that and all this other bullshit. When most of the stuff that they use is just random common sense. If you're born in winter, you're going to be more reserved. You're going to be more tough. You were born during a time when, back in the day, before technology existed, before hospitals and doctors and everything else, if you were born in the winter, you were more guaranteed to die than anybody else. Oh shit, I said the D word. So of course you're going to be resilient. Of course you're going to be tough. You're going to be reserved. You're going to be thoughtful. You're going to be cautious. You're going to be a little more selfish than everybody else because you have that grounded understanding that, you know, not everything is sunshine and rainbows. If you're born in the summer, you're more happy-go-lucky. You're more free. You're more that's why when around the winter time, more people that are born around the winter time are generally more captains of industry, more bosses, more business owners, and on top of it, most of them are more hands-on than anybody else. Unless you're the upper 1%, then you feel like everything's given to you, so you can just like cruise through life and make everybody else do it. That's a side note, Dustin. Don't get off track. Astrology is bullshit, guys. It's taking something like astronomy and twisting it up with random facts that everybody knows if they stop and think. And you've heard me say this before, the only real thing in all of astrology, the only real thing in tarot reading and everything else and blah 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 blah, right? The only thing real is the pareidolia you experience when you have that read done, because every card has multiple symbols on it. And how does the human mind work? It works by pattern recognition. It works by recognizing those symbols. And whatever story that these cards are telling you, right? Whatever story, the pareidolia causes you to think about something from your life, right? Do I need to explain what pareidolia is again? Pareidolia is the ability to see shapes and images where shapes and images shouldn't be, right? So if you're seeing the clouds go by through the sky like I am right now, you might be able to look at one and be like, oh shit, that looks like a little sperm. Oh shit, that looks like Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, stuff like that. That is pareidolia. And generally, not all the time, but like 9 out of 10, right? Like 90%. The better the pareidolia works in your mind, generally the higher IQ that you have, the more awareness that you naturally have. But again, those are things like science and genetics and blah, 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 blah. Boring shit that none of you want to actually pay attention to that's actually real. What did I say yesterday? We are a species that wants to pat itself on the back, right? We constantly want to reinvent the wheel just so we feel special about ourselves, because we, for whatever reason, cannot handle giving the credit to people that came before us, the ones that actually made those discoveries. It's like I said yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, I don't know. Musically, it doesn't matter what a band tells you. Musically, music was perfected by the end of the 70s. There is nothing else to learn. There is no other mountain to climb. It's just ego. It's just somebody wanting to feel special, right? And it's the same thing with everything else. There's not been, other than, finding Troy, finding Uruk, finding all these things that we have recordings of that we thought were lost to time. Like, we really haven't invented anything. Everything that we are working on today, technology-wise, getting computers to run faster, the different ways of amplification, stuff like that. Tesla figured out that shit in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Like, I really, really don't understand the need to glorify yourself, right? Like I always say, like everything in moderation is not bad. If you can't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. If you can't protect yourself, you can't protect anybody else. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. But it's the overindulgence in everything that makes it toxic, quote unquote narcissistic, all this other bullshit. I'm really getting tired of humanity's need to glorify and satisfy themselves instead of looking around and realizing that the reason this shit is all falling apart is because of us. It's because we refuse to come together. We want to buy into these narratives that they started creating for us hundreds and thousands of years ago that we've allowed to perpetuate. Like, it's still... Okay, we're going to dip on religion right now. Like, it's still flabbergasts me, guys. It still flabbergasts me that any African American, anybody that has any kind of black descent in them, why would you ever fucking believe in the Bible and God and Jesus? Why? When there is historical evidence that these fuckers use that as a reason to fucking justify whipping, beating, and your ancestors. Why would you ever glorify that? Why would you ever believe in a white Jesus or a black Jesus or a Middle Eastern Jesus? Why? You are simply buying into the fucking narrative that has kept you under thumb your entire fucking existence. You, me, all of us. I've illustrated many times. Slavery's bullshit. Slavery is just something that was implemented again to make you hate me and make me hate you and want us to fight, so we won't stop and say, wait a second, that motherfucker over there, that's the one that's doing it to all of us. And because, Queen Cersei, gives Dustin as a slave to Steve, right? Be like, oh, Steve, I know I beat you. I know I R-word your wife and your children, and I make your life living hell. But, whenever I do that to you, here's Dustin. Here's somebody he's your slave. You can take your crap out on him. Right? It's another way of divide and conquer. Because if we stopped and thought about it for 2 goddamn seconds, 2 fucking seconds, you people, we would realize that it's them doing the whole thing the whole time. A nation divided can never come together and stand up together. Why do we allow this? Why? What? It makes no fucking sense. Like, why do you believe in religion? Like, what? Why do you believe in the justice system? Why do you believe in the political system? Why do you believe in this way of fucking life that we have? Everything that has been boiled down to make you just smart enough to do the work, but never question it. And they keep you so busy so you can't stop and catch your breath. You can't stop and be like, hey, if I'm going to be doing this shit like this, I deserve more. They want you in that reactionary mindset. They want you in that victim mindset. They don't want you to empower yourselves. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Indian, Hispanic, whatever. They don't want us stopping for 2 seconds and realizing that this is all so they can live like they're in a resort and we all have to suffer. Think about that. I'll be back later, I think.